Moving on now, the Nigerian Senate has invited Ahmed Issa, popularly known as the Ordinary President and host of the Brekete family show, to appear before lawmakers on or before February 27th. Now, the summon is reportedly linked to a recent live broadcast of his show, where Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan aired her grievances against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Issa, during the video, called both senators to address the controversy, while Natasha Uduaghan responded and accused the Senate leadership of victimization. Senator Akpabio declined the call 3 times. Well, following this summons by the Senate, the Ordinary President has taken a different stance. Look at this.
See where I said she was wrong. Did you see that? But she must apologize too. She must apologize. She must apologize. You know, every reaction has an action that triggered the reaction.
Which we don't know.
So as we don't know waiting be the action will trigger the reaction. Waiting with the see now her reaction. And on the surface here, everybody don't see say she did wrong by her outburst. She go apologize.
Now, in a video before this, Ahmed Issa was saying that Nigerians stand behind Natasha and that they were going to make sure that she was apologized to by the Senate President. And so this juxtaposition is clearly a backtrack. But with the Brekete family show widely regarded as a platform for the common man, of course, many Nigerians are now questioning if this Senate invitation is an attempt to silence him or if there are deeper political tensions at play. Because why is he backtracking? I'm going to take some social media commentary. I absolutely love to hear what you guys have to say. Senator Shehu Sani weighed in on this. He says, inviting Ahmed Issa, the CEO of Brekete Radio, to the Senate is unnecessary and demeaning. Thank you, sir. Eukaria says, lol, LOL. So the masses have turned against her now. How did he change his stance so quickly? Only in Nigeria do the oppressed end up apologizing to their oppressors. And La Majora says, ordinary president no go fold care. Ordinary president now stutters. Nigeria is a gang up. You are on top. The fact that you are on top is that those who want you to do away with your platform have not had time yet or thought for you. Once you trigger their interest, they must either make you fold or make you go. I'm going to take one last tweet. Now, Morola says, needless to say, it shows you the priority of our leaders. If a Senate president is so petty, I wonder what they discuss in the Senate chambers. This is all extremely interesting. I find it very interesting that Ahmed Issa put the 2 lawmakers on the spot like that, and Senator Godswill Akpabio not answering the call. He's a very, very busy man. I don't think that speaks to his credibility in this situation. But
with the ordinary president, I think that we need to respect people who occupy certain offices, and I disagree with the fact that if the Senate president did not pick his call, it's a question on his integrity. I want to know what's transpired behind the scene. Did he, the ordinary president, tell the 3rd citizen of this country that he was going to call him on his show, or he just decided to pick his phone and call him? The Senate President has an office we must respect. Yes, there was an issue. I do not like the way the matter went on at the floor of the Senate, but we must respect these people and their offices. Yes, they have a responsibility to answer us when we call on them, but you must also follow protocol and respect their office. Did he speak with him before then to know if he's available to join in on the conversation? That's a question I'd like to know answered. And then if the Senate President had agreed and then did not pick his call, then I can say it's a question on his integrity. But
yeah, we're actually out of time, but let me just quickly speak to the ordinary president. I feel if it was me, if I were the one, I would consider it an infra dig. Not talk about the 3rd person, I mean the 3rd personality of this country, the Senate President. You can't just call people, you can't batch into their privacy and just call them and expect them to now give you a matter that is of national interest. Yes, you represent the people, you do. I love the daring attitude, the confidence and everything, but then I consider it complete demeaning to the persons of Natasha and that of the Senate President. So you should honor their invitation and explain better. But I disagree with Senator Shehu Sani on this.
All right, we'll have to leave the conversation here. Olamide, thank you for bringing us all of
those
stories. This is where we draw the curtains.
The motion before us, that we should refer the entirety of the saga to our ethics, code of conduct, and public petitions to revert back to us. But let me just read this for the record. Even the first time the issue came up here, our distinguished sister was not even speaking from her seat. And that was when we tried to call her to order. I think part of the problem is when people come from courts, court-declared senators, they miss the orientation. The management of the National Assembly is hereby ordered to organize periodic orientation, particularly for senators who are midstreamers, who can midstream and did not start when their colleagues started. Because I remember that this particular senator, on the day she was sworn in, raised her hand to speak. I was scared, but I had to recognize her because I was saying, you just gave her the rule book. Part of what we give to you when you are sworn in is a standing order of the Senate. So I said, has she even opened the rule book to know what she's going to say? But she made the contribution on that day. I think 2 days later, she brought a motion. There's nothing wrong in being vibrant, but there's a lot wrong when you don't know anything about the procedure. You can't be a reverend father and go and start the church service with communion. You must lay foundation. So let me refer you to section 66 of our rule book. Section 66, subsection 1. It says, the President of the Senate or the chairman, maybe while sitting as chairman of committee of the whole, after having called the attention of the Senate or of the committee to the conduct of a senator who persists in irrelevance or tedious repetition, either of his own arguments or of the argument used by other senators in debate, may direct him to discontinue his speech. So even when you are talking, the Senate President has a right to ask you to discontinue your speech. And then section 66(2) says, if such a senator refuses to resume his or her seat, this is the first time the rule book is even referring to her, the President of the Senate, or in the case of sitting as chairman of committee of the whole, shall order such a senator whose conduct is grossly disorderly to withdraw immediately from the Senate during the remainder of that day's sitting. The President of the Senate shall order such a senator to withdraw in the event that he views her conduct or his conduct to be disorderly.
Nigerians have reacted that the TVC people are saying this because it's their master's bidding. Like, you know, Tinubu owns the platform. So they are saying that, oh, this is wrong. Why would they be saying that kind of a thing? Why are they supporting Akpabio and all that? But me, I feel that they were very, very clear on whatever has happened. They were clear. They were like making, you know, excuses and making cases in case of this, in case of that. Because one of the women in TVC said, if they had called Akpabio prior to this time and said, we want to speak to you, and he declined, or he agreed and then declined, they would have now questioned his integrity. But now, you see, when it comes to Akpabio, now, when Akpabio explained the second video you had seen, when he explained that Nigerians were not still satisfied, they were like, they're still, you know, very sad. Out of, you know, let's say out of 100 people that commented under that post, only 2 or 3 people were standing with Akpabio. So now it goes to show that a lot of people are not happy with Akpabio. It's not even about what Natasha did. It's just a case of maybe things have been happening and they've been stomaching it, and this is an opportunity for them to lash out, right? And in the case of Natasha now, because Natasha is always on the side of good, even if she did wrong, people will definitely side her. That's how Nigeria is wired. That's why. So when Nigerians are, you know, reacting, just look at the undertone of their reaction and know where it's coming from. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, but let me know on the comment section what you think about this whole thing, the Natasha. And now they are saying that Brekete family boss, that is ordinary president, should appear in the Senate. Like me, I'm wondering to myself, why is it that our senators are very quick to follow frivolities other than things that are plaguing the economy? Like now, the fuel subsidy and all, they are not saying anything because they can afford the fuel. They are also not saying anything about INEC reforms. They are not saying anything because next year, election campaign will start. Guys, let me know your thoughts on the comments. These are senators now.